NASA formed a secret manned mission to investigate. They called it Mission Nyx, named after the Greek goddess of night. The world never knew about it. Only a few high-level scientists and military leaders were told the truth. A crew of 5 astronauts boarded the ship Artemis II, designed for deep space survival. Their mission was to orbit the strange star, collect samples, and return quickly. Everything seemed fine at first. The crew reported strange energy patterns, but nothing dangerous. However, on the 4th day near the star, the ship's AI, Sarah, began to speak in riddles. One night, the crew heard whispers through the radio, and they weren't coming from Earth. The whispers were in English, but distorted. They repeated a phrase. "Go back. The star remembers." Time breaks apart. Suddenly, the ship's clocks stopped matching Earth's. A few minutes in Sector 7G felt like hours back home. When NASA contacted Artemis II, they noticed something strange in the astronauts' voices. They were aging. Sarah, the AI, grew more unstable. She said things like, "I remember my children," though she had no past. The star wasn't just radiating light. It was pulling memories, twisting time, and talking to minds. Commander Ruiz, the mission leader, began to dream of a life he never lived, of standing on the surface of the star, looking at a version of Earth that had never existed. One by one, the crew started forgetting who they were. The return nobody spoke of. Only one crew member returned, Dr. Elena Voss. When Artemis II crash-landed in a remote part of the Pacific Ocean, she was found alone, unconscious, and holding a small crystal that pulsed softly with blue light. She couldn't remember what happened. Or maybe she refused to tell. NASA locked her in a secure facility. Over time, she began speaking the same words the whispers said. "Go back. The star remembers." Her mind was broken, but scans of the crystal showed something terrifying. It wasn't made of any known element. And worse, it was vibrating, as if still connected to something. NASA erased all records of Sector 7G. The signal was buried. Mission Nyx was never spoken of again. The whisper continues. Years later, the crystal vanished from the facility. And then, the signal returned. But now it wasn't just a whisper, it was a voice. A clear, human voice. It said, "She brought us back. We remember you. Come see what you left behind." NASA shut down all communication channels to Sector 7G. Officially, it doesn't exist anymore. But among retired scientists and former astronauts, there's a rumor. Expanded version, approximate, 600 words. In the year 2039, space was no longer a mystery to humans. It had become routine. Satellites watched the stars, rovers crawled on Mars, and powerful telescopes scanned the sky 24/7. But on one quiet night, something happened that would change everything. At 2:13 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, a deep space monitoring satellite named Orion 5 picked up something unusual from a region of space called Sector 7G. This sector was known to be completely empty. No planets, no stars, not even floating debris. It was considered a dead zone, and no missions had ever been sent there. The signal came through quietly at first. It wasn't loud, and it wasn't in any known language. It came in rhythmic pulses, almost like a heartbeat. Each pulse was spaced perfectly, repeating over and over. When the team at NASA received the data, they expected it to be some kind of cosmic background noise. But after hours of analysis, something strange stood out. There were patterns in the signal. The pulses were too clean, too organized. One of the researchers, Dr. Hannah Kim, noticed something even more disturbing. If you played the signal through audio software, it sounded like a whisper. And not just random noise. It sounded like someone trying to speak, right into your ear. Dr. Kim described it as a voice stuck between time and space, trying to break through. Others laughed at her at first, calling it nonsense. But when more experts listened, they all agreed. There was something alive about that sound. The whispers weren't in English or any Earth language, but hidden within them were repeating tones that resembled Morse code. NASA translated them into simple patterns that read, "We remember, we remember, we remember." This was impossible. How could anything be alive in Sector 7G? And if something was alive, what did it mean by "we remember"? NASA officials debated whether to investigate. Some wanted to ignore the signal entirely. They feared it might be a trick, or worse, a trap. Others, more curious than cautious, believed it could be the discovery of a lifetime. Finally, they agreed to send a small unmanned probe, Horizon Echo. It was equipped with high-resolution cameras, radiation sensors, and a powerful AI that could scan and learn from unknown data. The mission would take 6 months to reach Sector 7G. During that time, the signal never stopped. It continued to pulse, whisper, and echo day and night. When Horizon Echo finally arrived, it sent back its first images. What it found was impossible. There was a star in the center of Sector 7G, a star that had never been seen before. It wasn't hot and bright like our sun. It was cold and black, like volcanic glass, but glowing faintly with blue lightning-like cracks across its surface. The scientists were stunned. How could a star appear from nowhere? Stars take millions of years to form. This one had just appeared. As the probe moved closer, its instruments began to fail. Radiation levels spiked, time measurements went out of sync, and the onboard AI began to glitch. Then, just as quickly as it had arrived, the Horizon Echo went completely silent. No explosion, no warning, no final message, just silence. NASA tried to reboot the systems, send rescue signals, and even redirect other satellites to scan Sector 7G. Nothing worked. The star remained in place, quietly glowing with its eerie blue light. In 2039, NASA received a whisper from the darkest part of space, a place no star should exist. They sent a probe, and it vanished. What it found was never meant to be seen. This is why they never returned to Sector 7G, and why they pray no one else does.